स्टूडेंट्स, ये लीजिए आपका आ गया है लेबर लॉ 2 का LL.B 4th सेमेस्टर का प्रीवियस ईयर का क्वेश्चन पेपर। चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। पहला क्वेश्चन है द एम्प्लॉय स्टेट इंश्योरेंस एक्ट 1948 ऑल अबव, जितने जिसमें दिए ABC में सब ट्रू है। नेक्स्ट, द मोस्ट कंप्रेहेंसिव सोशल सिक्योरिटी लेजिस्लेशन फॉर एम्प्लॉयज इज Employee State Insurance Act 1948. The legislation which has passed by Indian Parliament और Professor CP reports के आंसर A, Employee State Insurance Act 1948. Next, the Employee State Insurance Act become operative from the date. आंसर B, 19 अप्रैल 1948. Next, at present the Employees State Insurance Act is applicable to whole of India including Jammu and Kashmir. Next आ जाएगा क्वेश्चन, the definition of principal employer is given under which section? The Employee State Insurance section 2 subsection 17. The manufacturing of coffee, lac, rubber, sugar and tea would comes under seasonal factories. ये हमारे seasonals इसलिए। Next, immediate employee also means includes such persons both A and B. A में हमारा क्या है, who provides service of employees appointed by him by principal employer. Our service provide for the rent, credit or in temporary manner, दोनों। Next, the ESI Act 1948 provides certain benefits to the employees in case in all the above sickness, mortality, employment journey सबका। और 10th है हमारा which among the following benefit I have not has been provided under the ESI. ESI हमारा हो जाता है एम्प्लॉयज 1948, आंसर होगा हमारा C, चिल्ड्रन अलाउंस। और जो भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो हिंदी मीडियम के, वो साइड में हिंदी में भी है, वो अपना पढ़ सकते हैं, क्योंकि मैं सिर्फ इंग्लिश में एक्सप्लेन करूँगा। मैं चाहता हूँ शॉर्ट में जितनी क्वेश्चंस हो जल्दी शॉर्ट में आपको मिल जाए। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, अंडर द एम्प्लॉय स्टेट Insurance Act 1948, medical care is the provide to retained and permanently disabled issued person and their spouses in payment of token annual premium. ये हमारा होगा ₹120. Next, the age of dependent for obtaining dependents benefit under the Employees Insurance Act has now been enhanced from 18 years to 25 years. The employees' shares of contribution under ESI Act 1948 4.75%. As per the last amendment, the wages limit for employees to be covered under the employee state insurance 15,000 per month. Answer A. Exempted employees under ESI Act. An employee who is not liable to pay under the Act the employee contribution. Answer A. Employment injury under the ESI Act covers all of the above. सब आते हैं इसमें। Point out the incorrect options. जो इनकरेक्ट ऑप्शन है वो आपको इसमें निकालना है। A civil court has jurisdiction to decide any question or dispute mentioned in section 75(3) of the act. Wrong है ये। Next, the provision of constitution of standing committee to employ state insurance corporation is contained in which sections of ESI Act? Section 8. बेनिफिट पीरियड सेक्शन 2 सबसेक्शन 2 में होता है. Under ESI Act, partners of a firm are employees or not. B and C are true. Partners are not employees. Those partners may get remuneration. Next, under the ESI Act, the term employee 29 में defined है. Answer A. The section of ESI Act 1948 relates contribution is 2 subsection 4. Choose the best option under section 54 ESI Act. All of the above are correct. The terms in the state government are notification by publication of official gazette, notification from mention. So, next, which among the following does not comes under jurisdiction of ESI? Deciding a title of a property. The definition of chief employers is given under which section of the ESI Act? Section 2 subsection 17. The term wages defined under this section, Minimum Wages Act. Section 2 subsection H. Power of fixed minimum wages has been entrusted which authority under the Minimum Wages Act 1948? Appropriate government. Which among the following is not the objective of Minimum Wages Act? To encourage competition among the employees regarding minimum wages. Next, a docent under the Minimum Wages Act completing 14 of the age but below the 18 has the term appropriate government and wages under Wages Act in 1936 same meaning. The term of wages mentioned Minimum Wages Act extraordinary wages. Procedure for framing or reversing minimum wages in content in which sections of Minimum Wages Act? Section 5. Industrial establishment Minimum Wages Act में sections defined है. ये हमारा होगा 2 subsection 2. Next, section 2D of Minimum Wages Act relate to living fixed index. Which kind of employee is not mentioned in Minimum Wages Act? Ad hoc employees. Point out the best options. All of them are correct. A, B and C are the correct options. Which among the following is included for the define of wages under Minimum Wages Act? House rent allowance. The appropriate government may fix the minimum wages under the Minimum Wages Act. All of the above. Next, who advised the appropriate government for coordinating work of communities and sub-communities under the Minimum Wages Act? Advisory Board. Minimum Wages Act payable under the Payment Act Wages Act 1936. Answer B, cash. Next, the minimum wages period for the payment of wages is 1 month. Under the Payment of Wages Act 1936, to the provision related to only authorized deduction from the wages be made contained in section 2 subsection 2, section 7 subsection 2. Authorized deduction in wages means B and C are correct. Deduction permitted under the Payment of Wages Act. Deduction made by wages by authority of other act are illegal under this act. Next, the section of Payment of Wages Act covering deduction for damages or loss. Section 10. Deduction for The absence from work under Payment of Wages Act 1936 authorized deduction. The total amount of deduction of wages of employees should not exceed 50% of wages. The term bonus is B and C are the correct options. Next, the ceiling of wages or salary for calculating bonus under the Payment of Bonus Act 1965 is 3,500. 49. Allocable surplus under the Bonus Act 67% of the available surplus. Next, under which section of the Payment of Bonus Act 1965 provisions related to payment of minimum is contained? Section 10. Payment of Bonus Act is applicable to every factory and to every other establishment where in an accounting year the number of the workmen employed per day 20 or more. Every employee receiving salary or wages up to 3,500 per month and enhanced in any type of work is entitled to bonus for every counting year if he has worked in that year at least 30 days working. Next, definition of accounting year in given under which section of the Payment of Bonus Act 1965? Section 2 subsection 1. The minimum bonus which an employer must pay even if he suffered losses during the accounting year or these in no allocable surplus would be 8.33% of the salary or wages during the accounting year. Next, for the closure of the accounting year, bonus must be paid to an employee 8 months. The violation of a provision of Bonus Act or rules thereto will invite punishment for offender, imprisonment up to 6 months or fine 1,000 or both. Next, the provision related to exempt of classes of employees for Payment Bonus Act is contained section 32. Under Factory Act 1948, the person having absolute control over the factory is called occupier. The provision related to appointment or power of inspector are contained in which section of Factory Act? Section 8 subsection section 8 and section 9. Section 7 of the Factory Act 1948 deals with general duties of occupier. Manufacturing process under the Factory Act defined the sections 2K. Section 2 subsection K are premises under it prevented carrying out manufacturing process without the aid for power will be an factory under the Factory Act 1948 if the number of workers working are 20 or more. Section 49 of Factory Act 1948 deals with appointment of a welfare officer. Which among the following is not a welfare measure under the Factory Act? Availability or alcoholic behavior. Next, child under the Factory Act means person who has not completed 15 years of the age. Next, the section of Factory Act deals with hazard process. Section 2 subsection CD. Under the Factory Act 1948 there must be a safety officer where number of persons working in a factory. Answer C 1000. A welfare officer must be appointed in a factory when the number of workers in the factory is 500. A chief inspector does not grant a license to a factory. To appeal cannot be made to state government. Workers' participation in safety management of a factory is provided in which section of the Factory Act 1948 सेक्शन 41G। और जो स्टूडेंट्स ने अभी तक मेरा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया, सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, क्योंकि ऐसे भी और भी MCQs रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस पेपर्स आपको प्रोवाइड करता रहूँगा। और मेरे चैनल को शेयर ज़रूर करिए। जो स्टूडेंट्स आपकी नॉलेज में हैं, जो लॉ स्टूडेंट्स हैं या जो कोई कॉम्पिटिशन पेपर दें जो लॉ के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, वो जरूर इसको शेयर करिए। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। A new name of Workmen Compensation Act by 2010 Amendment, Employee Compensation Act 1923. If the personal injury caused to a workman permanently or partially lasts only 3 days, then the employer is not bound to pay compensation under this section of Workmen Compensation Act. Section 3 subsection 1, Section 3 subsection 2 of Workmen Employee Compensation Act is related to employer's liability for occupational disease. Next, the liability of employer for injury caused to a workman at the workplace is beyond double. Provide workman act careful, however, if goes out for his home after work and in the way meet with accident, then also employer should be an answer A. The theory of motional extension of employers premises. Next section is select the correct option in permanent total disability. Answer C. Earning capability may revise after some time. Choose the best options under Workmen Compensation Act. Compensation Commissioner is a person appointed under Section 20 but mentioned under Section 2 subsection 1 subsection blocks. Next, put out the wrong options in labor law field. Social security aims. D. Social security is an obstacle to national progress and development because of its implementation cost. Next, which among the following factors is not promote a social security? Answer C. Decisive taxation policy and vote bank based governance for policy making. Next, the constitutional root of the participation of workers in the management of undertaking, establishment or other organizations in which they are engaged employees can be traced to employees. Which among the following article of the Constitution? Answer B. Article 43A. Which among the following is not social security based labor legislation? Answer C. Prevention of Corrupt Act 1988. Next, Article 24 of the Indian Constitution prohibits child labor employment in the Factory Act or many and their engagements in hazard employment. Child in this article is person who beyond 14 years of age. The Factory Act provides that all workers who have worked at least 240 days in a year are engaged to annual leave with wages 12 working days. Next, the maximum working hours of an adult worker in a factory 48. Answer B. Next, as per provision Factory Act 1948 First aid box is to be provided for every 150 workers. Under the Workmen Compensation Act 1923, which of the following is depends on workman or employee? Daughter-in-law. In case permanent total disablement, the compensation to be paid by employer would be 60% of monthly wages into relevant factors or 1.4 lakh, which even is higher. The section of Payment of Wage Bonus Act 1965 dealing with disqualification of bonus, section 9 of the act. Next, section 25 of the Payment of Bonus Act 1965 deals with audit of accounts of employers not being corporation of or companies. Next, the section of Payment of Bonus Act 1965 dealing with time limit of payment of bonus, section 19, answer D. Next, the injury caused to fingers of the left to right hand during the course of as per employment to an employee, SI Act 1948 comes. Answer is permanent partial disablement, answer B. Under the Employees Earlier Workmen Compensation Act 1923, when owing the death of working wife of an handicapped disablement person, then deceased wife depend would be both widower, husband and children. Next, the Workmen Compensation Act 1923 is not applicable both A and B. The person employed in a factory or any establishment through a contractor would comes under the previews of Employees Compensation Act. Yes, welcome. Next, the Central Advisory Board under Minimum Wages Act 1948 is constituted central government under Section 8 of the Act. Next, under the Payment of Wages Act 1936, appropriate government in the case of Indian Railway, answer would be central government. As per the Payment of Wages Act, provisions on determination of the employment of an employee depending wages, such employees must be paid the date after the mentioned 2 working days. Next, the time of payment of wages is covered under the which of the following section of the Payment of Wages Act? Section 5. Wages. The Payment of Wages Act must be paid any working days. Under the Factory Act 1948, the term audit is defined in the section 2 subsection A of the Act. Next, the authority under the Factories Act 1948, which can prescribe for the certificate of the fitness to work in factory, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट. ये आपके सारे क्वेश्चंस हो गए 100. और जो भी स्टूडेंट्स इसका PDF चाहते हैं तो मैंने अपने टेलीग्राम चैनल पे दे दिया, आप वहाँ जाके डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. मेरे टेलीग्राम चैनल का नाम है लॉयर्स किंगडम, जो मैं अपने डिस्क्रिप्शन पे दे दूँगा. आप वहाँ से डायरेक्टली क्लिक करके देख सकते हो. थैंक यू गाइस.